Hello, Professor. My name is Harika Bolam, and today I'm going to continue the topic of best programming languages for software development. And as a continuation, I'm going to start with the standards of programming. So, standards of programming helps us to choose a suitable programming languages for our software development, and there are mainly six coding standards irrespective of the programming language, and they are first proper and consistent indentation is for better readability and maintenance, and there are inline commands to analyze the functionality of code, and there are rules for limiting the use of global data, and next is structured programming methods shall be used, and naming convention should be followed for variables and identifications, and there are some standards should be maintained to handle errors or exceptions in a program. And the next. And next will be the basic step-by-step software development process. And the first we have to define a scope of the program based on our requirement, and then plan sequence of actions by developing the flowchart, and next develop the code by choosing the required programming language, and then test and debug the program to satisfy the real conditions from developer end, and then submit the program for beta testing. So the beta testing will test the program extensively under real-time condition to see whether it performs correctly or not. And let's see some real-world examples. So Apple company has started using Python language to develop their Mac OS and iOS application. So this helped them in increasing their revenue over 1 billion. And the same way, PayPal also migrated their existing Java code to the Node.js. So this helped them to this helped them to achieve increasing in the speed of the app and less responsive time and 30% less code. So that means a reduction in memory too. And the next, Intel also started using Python language in developing the semiconductor. So this helped them achieving the profit over 1 billion. And in the same way, Adobe and the New York Times also started using Go language for their new software infrastructure and achieved their revenue over 1 billion. And finally, Qualtrics company also implemented their software using Java programming language, and their revenue was increased from 5 billion to 9 billions. And there are some real world examples with the main programming languages they are using in their own organization. So here Apple uses mainly Swift programming language and Objective-C, and Google, Microsoft, Mozilla, Facebook uses JavaScript as their main languages, and Facebook uses PHP more, and C++ and C# are mostly used at Microsoft, Mozilla, and Oracle. And coming to the SWOT analysis, these are the strengths for best programming languages for software development. The major strength of programming language is that they can be used for developing a software applications and easier to learn, easy to learn and maintenance, and they are user friendly. So and easy to maintain and easy for error detection. And programming, most of the programming languages are object oriented or the problem oriented. So there are few specified programming languages are used for particular type of applications, and most of the programming languages are cross platform. That means they can run on Windows OS and Linux OS and Mac OS. And these are the weaknesses, that is the execution and of the programming language might be a slow and these are less time efficient and it requires more memory storage. And most of the programming languages cannot communicate directly with the hardware, that means with a CPU, and this makes us them more less flexible and it takes more translation time. And let's see some a list of open source programming languages. So first is the Python. Python is easy to install and it is extremely user friendly and a productive languages, and it is best for the uh, beginner programmers, and it is mainly used for web and software development application and also in and projects related to the machine learnings. And example, Amazon is using Python mostly for their product recommendations and for AI projects. And next is Java. Java is also an open source, and it's a platform independent and easy to learn. And Java is mostly used in this real world application. This preferred for the backend and Android development. And in the real world, Zero software was developed by using Java. And next is JavaScript. JavaScript is simple to learn and also implement. It is mainly used to prefer for the web pages whose implementation allows a client-side script to interact with the user. And the real world example is that Microsoft Edge software was developed using a JavaScript. And as a continuation, Swift language is also a open source and which is easy to install and user friendly. And Swift plugin also available for many existing IDEs like Eclipse and Visual Studio. The Swift is fast and safe and modern development. And this Swift is mainly used for all the Apple products like iOS, Apple TV, and Apple Watch. And the next is Scala. Scala is a free open source and it is very fast. Scala is also a JVM based applications, and uh, due to this fastness of the execution, Scala is considering as a new alternative of the Java. For example, recently Airbnb started using Scala for their financial transactions as a result, so to control their huge traffic regarding the transactions. And the next is a Node.js. Node.js is also easy to install and it is also a cross-platform runtime environment which allows to create a server-side and network applications. Node.js applications are actually first written in JavaScript. And then coming to the list of references, these are some references we have used to collect our source regarding the best programming languages used for software development in 2022. And coming to the recommendations, companies and organizations should use programming languages as they are productive and more efficient. And the size and complexity of a project plays an important role in deciding which programming language to use. And knowing multiple languages helps companies to keep up with the pace and helps to choose best programming language based on the suitable tasks. And these are some recommended programming language based on the needs, like so based on the career goals. If someone wants to be a front-end developer, then it's will be better for them to get to know the JavaScript and TypeScript. And someone wants to become a back-end developer, then they must learn Scala, Python, or JavaScript or Go. And for mobile developer, and it's better to know the Swift, Java, Object-C, or JavaScript. And in the same way, for in gaming development, It's better to know some Unity and TypeScript languages, and in the same way, there are some languages mentioned for desktop applications and system programming. These are the latest programming languages that are preferred in the industry. And there are some programming languages for specific tasks. And like for data visualization, JavaScript was more preferred, and for video games, C and C# was more preferred. And in the same way, for build and edit web pages, PHP, HTML was preferred. And for building iPhone applications, only Objective-C and Swift is preferred. And for storing user information and data, Ruby, Python, or PHP is preferred. And in the automation and scripting, Python and Ruby is preferred. In the favor storage and analyze, SQL programming language is the best. Coming to the conclusion. To conclude, programming languages are the base for the new innovations in the current technology. So that's the reason programming languages are important to make a world automated, and every programming languages has its benefits. With that, we can enter the field of our choice. And as a computer program across the world work to learn new ways of communicating with the machines and computer, this field will continue to grow. So after learning about the programming languages to develop a software engineering, we should strongly become, and that CSES department should have an elective course on this topic. Thank you, Professor. Thank you.